honor of the song, we thank you for this day that you've given to us. As we enter into a new year, we ask that you guide our ways and the decisions that we make. We ask for persistence and strength to work hard and overcome obstacles, all in hopes of bringing you glory. And everything that we do, please bring us closer to each other and closer to you. Thank you for all these great people and a wonderful school. Amen.
Good morning. It is a beautiful day to be together. And this convocation marks the official opening of the school year at Yates-Gill College, and we're pleased to have you with us. Today we observe the beginning of a new year by celebrating our institutional values of leadership and service as we recognize individuals and families who are committed to making this one of the finest communities in America. The Nelson Atkins Museum, the Kaufman Center for the Performing Arts, outstanding hospitals like Children's Mercy and St. Luke's, the Liberty Memorial, and Union Station, all reflect the vision, leadership, and generosity of the Kansas City community. For 32 years, we have awarded Yates medallions to individuals whose service to this community has been highly influential. As some of you know, I carry a British 2-pound coin in my pocket because it says on the edge, "Standing on the shoulders of giants." Every institution, every community, every successful family stands on the shoulders of those who went before it, creating opportunities. As heirs to such a commitment, we are charged with being the giants on whose shoulders the next generations stand. We at Jewell are educating that next generation of leaders, and we stand together with the visionaries and leaders who have built Kansas City. So this event is also our recommitment to the values that are common to Kansas City and the college. Today, we will recognize an entire generation of one family that has picked up the family's mantle of community leadership and carried it forward with the spirit and commitment of their parents. The Hall family is a special family in Kansas City history. Like the Dunn family, the Kemper family, the Blocks, the Doremus family, the Sosmans, the Kaufman family, and so many others, the legacy of work done by this generation of the Hall family continues to make the Kansas City community very special. The first medallions were awarded in September 1980. Today we look back on the intervening years and know that the people we recognize with those first Yates medallions had not only offered their vision and energies to create a sturdy set of shoulders on which others could stand, but had also mentored the people who would make it so. The Yates medalists who have been recognized since then, some of whom are with us today. These are people who build businesses, charitable foundations, public service institutions, and outstanding nonprofit organizations. But we acknowledge them today because they do more than that. They build a community. They build a community by using their social, cultural, political, and financial influence to pursue the common good. These are the giants on whose shoulders we stand today. With the past Yates Medallion honorees, please stand as I call your name, and we'll hold our applause until all have been introduced. Shazi Randall. I didn't see Shazi come in this morning. Ray Brock. John Dillingham. Peggy Dunn. Terry Dunn. Sue Ellen Freed, Patty Darney, Anita Gorman, Adele Hall, Don Hall, Shirley Helsberg, Herb Hockaday, Joe Israelite, Bob Kevin, Barbara Nelson, Bill Nelson, Jeanette Nichols, Shirley Pryor, David Ross, John Schaefer, and Deb Stein. Thank you very much, Bob. Well, this new year, as every year, begins with great promise at Yates-Gill College. Our incoming first-year class is outstanding by every measure, be it standardized test scores, class rank, or achievements outside the classroom. And they arrive on the heels of several classes who themselves raised the bar of exceptional academic preparation. We're excited to think about what this class of 2016 will achieve. 4 years ago, we wondered what the class of 2012 might do, where they would go, and what they would accomplish. And now we have begun to see the outcomes. Those graduates have jobs in business and banking, in teaching, including Teach for America, in nonprofit work, and dozens of other fields. And they are enrolled in graduate and professional programs at institutions like Yale, Chicago, and Johns Hopkins, and Northwestern, and KU, and MU, and Washington University, and St. Louis, among many others. Our new students also join a college community that is itself fully committed to service. Last year, Yates-Gill students, faculty, and staff logged over 61,000 hours of community service in our local neighborhoods and villages throughout the world. That's the equivalent of putting 30 full-time employees into the community. This year's juniors represent the first Jewell class to be awarded Journey Grants. They applied during their sophomore year and were awarded $2,000 or more to support self-designed educational experiences. So this year, 113 students will set out to 27 countries and 10 states in pursuit of an enriching adventure, a passion, a service experience, an internship, a research project, or simply self-discovery. The students and graduates of Jewell achieved great things partly because extraordinary people preceded us here. The high expectations established by those predecessors continue to motivate us. Our Board of Trustees also has high expectations for the future of the college and are committed to doing work that makes a bright future possible. I'd like to meet the members of our board who are here this morning. So trustees, as I call your names, if you would stand, and let's hold our applause until all are standing. Julius Anderson, Bill Crouch, Ed Douglas, Patty Garney, Bill Gotro, Bob Beaglebach, John Gill, Eileen Houston Stewart, Tony Landers, Karen Mathis, Holly Malone, Jim Pierce, Ed Place, Linda Rose, Doyle Sager, Debbie Smith, Joy Steincross, Buzz Willard, and Rick Wright. Thank you all very much. Now let me invite you to reflect on the beginning of our new year and the journey ahead as we hear from the concert choir, conducted by Dr. Anthony Maglione, Director of Choral Studies.
Oh,
Well, recently, we have received several accolades from national publications and ranking services. The college was listed among America's best colleges by Forbes magazine and Princeton Review. Washington Monthly recognized Jewell among the top 75 national liberal arts colleges that give back to their communities. Kiplinger's Personal Finance named Jewell among its top 200 best values in private colleges. And Payscale.com placed William Jewell among the country's top 50 liberal arts colleges for the future earning potential of its graduates. We are fortunate to be located in Liberty, recognized as one of the most livable cities in the country, and we're pleased to have with us today the Mayor of Liberty, who will join us for opening convocation and to celebrate this relationship with a wonderful city that's been our home for 163 years. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Greg Knudsen, a member of the William Jewell College class of 1989.
Good morning. Welcome back. On behalf of 1,000 alums living in the city of Liberty and over 3,000 living in the Liberty area, I welcome you back to the city. William Jewell is one of the primary reasons that the city of Liberty is consistently recognized on a national level as one of the best cities in the United States to live in. Without William Jewell College, the city of Liberty would not receive that recognition. For over 160 years, William Jewell College has been the educational, the economic, and the cultural foundation of our city. William Jewell has always provided leadership in the community and leaders of the community. The City of Liberty is proud of this relationship with William Jewell and all the contributions that William Jewell has made to our community over the years. Almost every person in Liberty is connected to William Jewell College in some way. My dad taught here for 31 years. I was practically raised on this campus. I graduated in 1989 from this college, and 2 or 3 weeks ago we moved my daughter and my oldest daughter in as a freshman here at Jewell. From the time I was a small boy until today, William Jewell has been an influential part of my life. I love the school, and I'm so proud of the relationship that has developed between the city and the college over the years. For those of you that are new to the college, know this, that wherever you find yourself in the city of Liberty, you will find yourself surrounded by friends who wish you well. Have a great year. Welcome back.
Thank you, Mayor. I am Ann Dima, Provost of the College. One of our purposes today is to mark the opening of the 2012-2013 academic year. Jewell's reputation as an outstanding educational institution is built on the legacy and the shoulders of remarkable faculty. It is my honor this morning to recognize the faculty, a distinguished body of scholars who have dedicated their lives to their profession and their students. Joining the faculty this fall are several new colleagues that I would like to introduce to you at this time. As I call their names, I would like each to stand and remain standing. Dr. Amaya Amel, Assistant Professor of Spanish. Dr. Kelly Brayton, Assistant Professor of Psychology. Ms. Lori Button, Instructor of Nursing. Dr. Michael Foster, Assistant Professor of French. Dr. Joshua Hoops, Assistant Professor of Communication. Dr. Patrick Johnson, Visiting Assistant Professor of Physics. Dr. Amy Kurzman, Director of Pre-Medical Advising and Assistant Professor of Chemistry. Dr. David McCune, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. Dr. Azadeh Rafizadeh, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. Dr. Rose Reynolds, Assistant Professor of Biology. Mr. Corey Shear, Assistant Professor of Nonprofit Leadership and Business. Mr. Michael Stoll, Instructor of Education. And Dr. Christopher Wilkins, Assistant Professor of History. Please join me in welcoming these new members. And now will the entire faculty please stand and face the student body. With a passion for teaching and scholarship, the faculty members standing before you comprise a community of scholars who care deeply for their students. In this academic year, we pledge to challenge you intellectually so that you may become more capable thinkers, may find and build upon your passions, preparing you to engage a world that is eagerly waiting your contributions. Please join me in recognizing the faculty of William Jewell College.
As you know, William Jewell College places a high value on learning and experiential education. In order to maintain these values for today's students, we must be responsive to the changing landscape of learning. We've made great progress in ensuring that emerging educational technologies are available to our community of learners. We're building on that progress with the construction of the new Prior Learning Commons, which is scheduled to open in August 2013. The Learning Commons will provide a center for innovation in teaching and learning, digital collaboration rooms, recording and editing suites, and presentation rehearsal studios. The Learning Commons will be the intellectual center of our campus and will anchor the east side of the block. 3 weeks ago, we received a $1 million challenge grant from the J.E. and L.E. Navy Foundation, completing the fundraising on this project. Other key contributors include 1956 alumni Shirley Pryor and Fred Pryor, the Hall Family Foundation, and the William T. Kemper Foundation. The $15 million project is fully funded by donors who believe in the future of higher education and the students who will lead our community in the decades to come. The Prior Learning Commons is the centerpiece of Jewell's Shaping the Journey campaign, and I'm happy to report that we concluded phase 1 of the campaign this summer, surpassing our $55 million goal by raising more than $58 million. These gift commitments came from 12,800 different people, the largest number of campaign contributors in the history of the college. Altering the landscape of Jewell also means altering the physical landscape. You no doubt saw the progress when you arrived on campus this morning and struggled to find a parking place. The Prior Learning Commons project has provided us the impetus to create a more pedestrian-friendly campus, improve our energy efficiency, establish a more welcoming main entrance, and build a new plaza east of Jewell Hall. At the conclusion of this convocation, we'll host a brief ceremonial groundbreaking in this room for the Prior Learning Commons. Now, for more than 3 decades, we have recognized Kansas Cityans who have made this a great community through selfless leadership and service. And today we honor 3 more servant leaders who have made their own marks on the Kansas City community and are excellent role models for the Jewell student body. We begin the recognition of our honorees with David E. Hall, to be presented by Herb Hockenbecker, 1982 Yates Medalist.
Thank you, Dr. Saleh. Good morning. Dave is joined by his parents, Adele and Don Hall, his wife, Laura Hall. And in the interest of full disclosure, I should acknowledge that Dave is Ellen, my son-in-law, which presents an unparalleled opportunity, which I'm inclined to take full advantage. Dave may be very nervous. He may be hoping that I have forgotten the time when I was in the emergency room having a bike accident knocking out most of my teeth, and daughter Laura and the other women in my family appeared there, and she went home and said to Dave, "I'm so relieved Dad at least is making sense," to which he said, "Well, he must have had a severe concussion." Dave says that that was my other son. Those daughters, know that when those daughters marry men that you not only like, but genuinely admire and respect, that is a benefaction special in life. And that is what Ellen and I have in Dave and our other son-in-law. Dave has a degree in economics from Davidson. He has a law degree from the University of Kansas. He is president of Hallmark North America. He's on the board of Hallmark Cards. He serves on numerous regional boards, Midwest Research Institute, Global, KU Endowment, among a number of others. But even those things, and beyond those things, I think, is the meaning of the Yates-Gill medallion and how it profoundly connects what William Jewell and Dave stand for. As a leading liberal arts college, William Jewell articulates and instills qualities that are essential more than ever to our future as a civil society. And those particular qualities I thought were well captured a couple of years ago by a sociologist who had done an extensive study and summarized it with this conclusion. He said, perhaps life is not a race whose only goal is being foremost. Perhaps work that is intrinsically rewarding is better for human beings than work that extrinsically rewards. Perhaps enduring commitment to those we love and civic friendship toward our fellow citizens are preferable to restless competition and anxious self-defense. Enduring commitment to our community, civic friendship to those in need. These are the qualities that reflect Dave's life and career. These are the values inculcated by a liberal arts education. And that is why it is so appropriate for our son-in-law and our friend Dave to get this reward. And so, Dr. Salih, on behalf of William Jewell College, it is a pleasure for me to present David E. Paul for the William F. Yates Medallion.
Our second honoree this morning is Don Paul Jr. to be presented by Bob Kemp, a 1999 Yates medalist.
I joined Hallmark in 1983, and at that time, Don Paul Jr. was already employed at Hallmark and had been for several years. And I made the assumption, as perhaps many of you would, that being a member of the family meant that there was a succession plan and that he would progress through that. And it was not long after that that I heard from his father, Don Paul, who said, I want to make this very clear to the company and to one and all, particularly to the officers, that it really doesn't matter who his grandfather was, the esteemed founder of Hallmark, and it really doesn't matter who his parents, Don and Adele, are. None of that is to enter into any decisions concerning his progress or assignments within Hallmark. That will depend solely on his merit and on his own achievements. Now, maybe I'd make a slight exception to Adele, because mothers do make a difference, as we all. Well, Don Paul began work in manufacturing in Hallmark. He worked in product development, and he worked in sales. He worked in the early stages with the keepsakes ornaments, and he progressed through his own merit and efforts to become the CEO of Hallmark. At the same time, and more recently, he has fulfilled a responsibility to the community through a number of organizations, MRI Global being one, the Civic Council being one, and on the national level as a trustee of the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Throughout all of that time, Don Hall Jr. has, I think, more important than anything else, fulfilled that requirement that his father articulated by standing for the values that the family holds and that the company holds. And he has done so in an admirable way. I can testify firsthand that of all the employees of Hallmark who he's touched over all those assignments, you won't find one who doesn't agree that it's his values and that it's his own merit that justify his advance. So, Dr. Salih, it's my very special privilege to present Donald J. Hall for the Yates-Gill.
Our third honoree today is Margie Hall Pence. She will be presented by Peggy Dunn in 2003 Yates Medalist.
Well, good morning. Joining Margie Pence this morning are her husband, Kim Pence, and her parents, Drs. Don and Adele Hall, who are the 1998 and 1984 Yates Medalists, respectively. Her mother-in-law, Maxine Pence, and her sister-in-law, Patty Pence Evans. Margaret Hall Pence is a graduate of Sunset Hill School and Dartmouth College, where she received a BA in English Literature. Margie is the younger sister to Don Jr. and the older sister of David, so she's the middle child. She and her husband Keith have been married for 30 years and are the proud parents of Sarah, Andy, and Michael. Margie began her career at Mutual Benefit Life Insurance, where she served in public relations and community relations capacities. She joined the Hall Family Foundation as a program officer in 1982 with an emphasis on education and children at risk. She now serves on the board of directors for the Hall Family Foundation, along with current board service to many other organizations, including the Children's Mercy Hospital, Midwest Foster Care and Adoption Association, and the Kansas City chapter of the American Red Cross. Her previous board leadership extends to the Pembroke Hill School, the Learning Exchange, the Community Foundation of Johnson County, and the American Royal Association. Her volunteer associations include Girl Scout Troop Leader and membership in the Pembroke Hill School Parents Association. She also enjoys many family associations with William Jewell College. Her sister-in-law, Patricia Pence Evans, is a graduate of William Jewell, and her mother-in-law, Maxine Pence, is a lifetime member of the William Jewell College Women's Committee. Serving with Marty on the Hall Family Foundation Board and Children's Mercy Hospital Board, I have witnessed her tremendous passion for the well-being of children and her commitment that they have the building blocks for a successful future, those being good health and an excellent education. She's a strong and tremendous advocate for important causes that are near and dear to her heart. At the same time, she's a very humble leader, and she never seeks recognition for her efforts. When ranking the order of priorities within her life, there's no question what comes first. It is and always has been family, hands down. It ranks above her love for her horses. It ranks above scuba diving that she, Keith, Sarah, and Michael enjoy together. It even ranks higher than their wonderful trips to Hawaii. And while Margie has a particularly close bond with her mother, Adele, her interest in family reaches beyond the immediate to the extended family as well. There's no greater joy for Margie than spending time with her beloved family. She's an extraordinary wife, mother, daughter, sister, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, aunt, niece, and cousin, as well as a very special friend. Dr. Salee, on behalf of the William Jewell College Board of Trustees, I am honored to present Mrs. Margie Paul Pence for the William F. Yates Medallion of Distinguished Service.
Thank you all. And one of the things that we see that drives the community engagement of this family is a commitment to values, the highest and most important values. Would you three please stand so we can recognize all three of them? This morning we are pleased to welcome as our speaker a leader who knows a great deal about strengthening a community, particularly through the arts. Ms. Jane Chu serves as President and Chief Executive Officer of the Kaufman Center for the Performing Arts, the performance home of Kansas City Symphony, Ballet, and Opera, and most important to us, many of the presentations of the Harriman Jewell series. Jane led the center through fundraising and construction, and with her guidance, events at the center attracted more than 400,000 people in the first year. The center has become known internationally as a premier performing venue. Last fall, after the Harriman Jewell series presented the Vienna Symphony in Hellsberg Hall, the conductor Fabio Luisi said enthusiastically, "This is one of the world's great concert halls." Prior to her position at the Kaufman Center, Jane served as the fund executive for the Kaufman Fund, Vice President for External Relations at Union Station, and Vice President of Community Investment at the Greater Kansas City Community Foundation. She holds bachelor's and master's degrees in piano performance, music education, and piano pedagogy from Washington Baptist University and Southern Methodist University, respectively. Additionally, she holds an MBA from Rockhurst and is a PhD candidate in philanthropic studies at Indiana University, where she will successfully defend her dissertation on Wednesday. And I'm also very pleased that Jane will join our Board of Trustees in January 2013.
Dr. Salih, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to join you today. I want to congratulate the 3 winners of the Yates Medallion for their very well-deserved honor. And congratulations to Jewell College. You continue to do such a great job dedicating this college to education and making education relevant to the community. It's only fitting that there should be a Yates Medallion honoring civic leaders for their public service. Here in America, getting involved in our communities has not only been a nice way to help others, but civic engagement has been the glue that holds our country together. Sociologist and Professor Theda Scotch-Poll tells the story about how civic engagement came to play such a critical role in building America. A lot of migration took place in the late 1700s in early America. Families were moving to America from other countries, mostly Europe, settling in, meeting each other, and trying to figure out how they might best get established to help themselves and others in their new startup communities. Soon afterwards, a very important network was formed that opened the door for civic engagement to take a strong foothold. The new American Congress passed the Post Office Act of 1792, which allowed newspapers to be distributed through the mail. So by having this mailing option, citizens from all over this new nation could keep up with what was going on in other places and gather new ideas from each other to share and develop in their new communities. It also prohibited public officials from using this type of communication as a means of surveillance or control of the society. Back in the early 1700s, the U.S. Postal Service system was pretty basic. There were some larger communities, mostly on the Atlantic coast, that were loosely linked together through the U.S. Postal Network, especially compared to the most sophisticated, more developed postal systems that they had experienced when living in Europe. But after the Post Office Act of 1792, communication exploded across this new nation. This was like the 18th century version of Facebook. Residents in the United States were constantly writing back to their relatives in their country of origin, sharing how they were building their new homes in America. New communities within the United States were sharing information and ideas with each other on how they could make their own communities better, how they could increase the quality of life for each other. And by 1828, the United States postal system had nearly twice as many post offices in America as Great Britain's postal system had, and more than 5 times as many post offices as in France. There were about 74 post offices for every 100,000 residents in the United States, compared with 17 post offices in Great Britain and 4 post offices in France. And by 1830, 2 years later, with 8,764 postal employees, this accounted for more than 75% of all the United States federal employees, all working for the post office. And by 1840, a decade later, an additional 14,000 employees were part-time postmasters in small American villages and towns scattered throughout the country. This postal system in the United States had fanned out into a huge communications network. The United States government also wanted to make sure that even the smallest communities located in isolated pioneer territories had the ability to receive and send communication, and as a result, postal rates for sending mail were kept very low. Because of this system of communication, volunteers were able to freely voice their ideas about what they believed America should be like. And ultimately, these were the most favorable conditions for citizens to be able to get their messages across through newspapers and magazines. Smaller newspapers could get news from larger newspapers. Magazines could share products and inventions. Americans realized that this was an opportunity for a lot of personal interaction with each other and in their new communities, and they could mobilize people to get in there and get involved. Pulling people together for the shared goal of addressing issues and supporting and making our communities better has been a fundamental characteristic of our society ever since the beginning of the United States of America. Volunteers have jumped into the fray to help those who were underrepresented as individuals, help people regroup after a crisis, bring people together for the purpose of advocacy and expression, change attitudes toward race and different types of neighborhoods, better human relations, increase the quality of life, educate people, coordinate medical programs, and most of all, build stronger ties for people to trust each other. Large and small associations have also sprung up over the centuries as a result of being engaged in the community. The YMCA, the American Anti-Slavery Society, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, the American Red Cross, Veterans of Foreign Wars, March of Dimes, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Today, there are 1.3 million nonprofit organizations in the United States, and 18,000 of them are in the greater Kansas City area. So why are we celebrating community engagement? There are benefits to being engaged in the community. Political scientist and Professor Robert Putnam noted that the social capital that's generated from being involved in the community helps us solve problems easier. If it is true that the collective IQ of a group is higher than the highest IQ of the individual within the group, then we benefit from working together to solve problems. We learn from each other. Nobody knows that better than you here today, who've made it your mission to be a lifelong learner and to also share your learnings with others. When people trust each other and get to know each other over time, it actually makes everyday business and social transactions advance smoothly. Economics Nobel Prize winner Elinor Ostrom, who passed away this year, noted that it wasn't just financial profit that made a business run smoothly. The way we interact with each other socially makes a strong impact on how smooth our business transactions turn out. It also makes us aware of how closely connected we are to each other. Think about the tragic acts of violence that have occurred over the decades, attacks where afterwards people who knew the perpetrators have said that they were loners. The more actively we are connected with each other, the more we can develop character traits that bring out the best in us and help others. We're less cynical. We're more tolerant. We're more empathic. Because we benefit from the insights and feedback of others who serve as a sounding board for us. And not everybody has to be involved in the same way. There are different approaches to being engaged in the community. Some of our interaction involves relationships where everyone has significant characteristics in common with each other. It may link our families together or our religious communities together. And those interactions are very helpful to us, especially when it comes to times when we ourselves need bolstering from others. But we don't want to just stop there with our interactions. Through our civic engagement, we have an opportunity to transcend only being around those we already know and reach out to support and learn from those who are not like us. It takes more time, and in some ways it's harder than surrounding ourselves with people just like ourselves. There can be controversy. We come from different perspectives. Yet even if we are different from each other, if we interact with each other for a common purpose, there's something very satisfying and meaningful when we have managed to connect with others who are different from ourselves for the purpose of achieving an objective together. So on this very day, we are honoring and thanking 3 individuals who have each in her and his own individual way made significant contributions to make our community better. These individuals also come from a family legacy that has for generations been deeply committed to increasing the quality of life in our community through their civic engagement. These are individuals who walk their talk, and they serve as role models for civic engagement, not just because they give so generously of their time and their talent and their resources, but because they are tireless. When they are committed to making something better, they persevere through the challenges until they see that the change for the better is starting to happen. So as we start out this new school year, let's begin with a very simple step. Let's start with a mindset of being open, helpful, kind, compassionate, and interested in our surroundings. To use this power that was built from a fundamental characteristic of the development of the United States, used in our one-on-one conversations with students, faculty, colleagues, family, friends, through our involvement with community organizations, to accomplish an objective that will make our society stronger with an increasing quality of life. Thank you for letting me talk with you this morning.
Open, helpful, kind, compassionate. Those are pretty good factors. Good things to practice. Now, we've come to the end of our opening convocation ceremony, and we're going to shift gears in just a few minutes. So I need to give you some instruction, because we're going to shift to the groundbreaking. And as you can see by the bright sunshine coming in through the windows, I made a terrific decision to move it inside. Such just too bright. In a moment, we will sing the alma mater. I'm going to leave that Dr. Hagley. He looks surprised. Followed by the benediction by Dr. Andrew Pratt, Vice President for Social Responsibility and Engagement and Dean of the Chapel. What I'd like for you to do when we get ready to sing the alma mater and have the benediction is to stand, and then remain standing as we recess and the platform party departs. And then if you would, please sit back down. We're going to transform the stage in about 2 minutes to a groundbreaking look, and some of us will come back up, and we'll have 4 groups of people who will come up and take place in the ceremony of groundbreaking. And then we'll do another recessional. Okay? Because we need to have the faculty recess so we can get to class. We have class today. Okay? So we're going to stand in just a moment, do the alma mater and the benediction, and then we will recess, ask you to be seated, and then we'll do the groundbreaking. Okay? Thank you very much. Let's have the alma mater.
Love kindness, and walk wisely with our God and with each other. Let's go in peace.
there are cookies on your way out, just before you stay. Okay, we've got shovels, we've got dirt. We promise not to throw at each other in any fashion. And we have a great backdrop. That's what it's going to look like. And this is a great day. This is going to be a transformative building for us. What goes on in there is going to shape the way this institution works for the next several decades. It's going to shape the way the institution looks for many more decades. Because as you know, it'll have an entrance on the east that will provide a welcoming opportunity as people come to the campus. So we're very excited. We're going to have 4 groups of photographs here, and I will ask people to come up to join those groups. So if you would move quickly as I call your name. The first group is trustees, and actually the first 2 groups are trustees. One of the things trustees do for institutions is to provide vision, to look out, to think ahead, and then get committed to that vision and make it happen. And our trustees do that month after month, year after year, and we're very grateful for that. So let me ask Julia Sanderson, Bill Crouch, Ed Douglas, Patty Garney, Bill Gotro, Bob Engelbach, John Gill, Eileen Houston Stewart, Tony Landers, Karen Mathis. Come up. Come on up, Julia. And if you go to the bar, shut it. Yeah, you've been definitely a long time. Okay, keep in mind this is ceremonial. Ceremonial. If you want to put a hand on the shovel, if we can get that close, where's Kyle?
Right up here.
Oh, there's Kyle. Okay. All right, Kyle.
And I'm going to do 3 shots. 1, 2. And 1, 2. And one more. 1, 2. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, now you have to notice up on the screen is the live shot of what's going on the construction site at the moment. And that you'll find that on the website if you want to keep up. There we go. Second group of trustees includes Jim Pierce, Ed Blaze, Linda Rose, Doyle Sager, Debbie Smith, Joyce Don Cross, Harvey Thomas, no, Harvey's not here, Buzz Willard, and Rick Wright.
And looking up here, right up here. And 1, 2. And 2 more. 1, 2. Last one. 1, 2. Thank you.
Okay, our third group, we have Buzz Willard as chair of the board will remain, Ann Dima representing the faculty, Shirley Pryor representing major donors to the project, George Dooley, Jeremy Province representing students, Angela McClellan, I see Angela. Oh, there she comes. Angela represents the Hall Family Foundation, who made a tremendous commitment to this project. Vance and Elizabeth Rule, donors to the project. And Greg Knudsen, representing the City of Liberty. Okay, we've got enough shovels for everybody? Okay. All right, Kyle.
And everybody looking up here for me, please. And we got a shovel missing here. There we go. That works. And 1, 2. And 2 more. 1, 2. Last one. 1, 2. Thank you.
Yes. And our fourth group, these are folks who are partners in the project day to day. So we have J.E. Dunn represented, I don't know if Terry, is Terry still here? Yes. Okay, Terry Dunn, David Young, Pat Willoughby, and Brian Roth. And then Ann Dema, Buzz Willard, Brian Clements, Chief Financial Officer at the college, Steve Anderson, who leads our facilities management work, and then from our architects, Dennis Strait, and David Dawson from WLCAT. Come on.
And everybody looking right up here for me. Take 3 shots. 1, 2. And 1, 2. Last one. 1, 2. Thank you very much.
All right. I think I mentioned we have another recessional. It's a day for lots of recessionals. So if everybody would stand, and then the faculty will recess.